Freud, you are not allowed to set boundaries with a female, or she will do this. This is literally all from Stephanie Larkin, every bit of it. Because I told her to go away after she didn't hint when I asked her to leave. Yeah, no, go away. Plain and simple. If you are going to get involved in somebody else's situation, in somebody else's case, maybe you should listen to them instead of going out of your way to do things that are damaging and detrimental to them. When it comes to Stephanie Larkin, I don't hate her. She's got severe mental problems, very severe mental problems. You really have to have a severe mental issue to not understand what go away means. Let me explain to you what go away means. When I was in Virginia, right, those people got messed up things in their heads. So I drove 1,700 miles to get away from them. 1,700 miles I drove to get away from, very specifically, American women. Women who have been taught that everything is a man's fault. Now, thank goodness that there are so many women in the United States who know better, but they're not sticking up for our rights. And of course, there's the us girls gotta stick together thing. That's hurtful for all of us. To automatically take someone's side because of gender, and to take part in abuse against somebody because of gender, this is not okay. Ignoring the law because of bias and popularity is not okay. Here in America, our judges, lawyers, public pretenders, and police throw the law out the window every single day. We get to see how biased it is and how sexist it is, and I know a lot of men whose lives were destroyed by literally schizophrenic women. Women in the United States who have taken so many drugs that they no longer have any bearing on reality. They no longer know what is going on. When I see that a male has the upper hand in a situation, it is most generally because the female is a friggin' crackpot. Nuttier than squirrel turds. Does that say that every woman in America is schizophrenic? Not even close. But the thing is, it should not be so, lopsided and one-sided. When it comes to us girls just need to stick together, no, that is gang stalking. That is what it is 100% of the time. When you and your lady friends decide to have one of your lady meetings about how to destroy a man's life, that is gang stalking. That is literally what it is. No matter what you want to try to change it to be, that is what it is. It's kind of like the police when they assault somebody. What do they call it? Oh, they don't call it what it really is. What it literally is torture. But they call it something else, and magically it's okay. Oh, now it's pain compliance. No, that's torture. That is literally what it is. I've gone through physical and psychological torture for the last 6 years, 7 years now, because I can't defend myself. And what's your excuse? What's your bias? I just need to man up, right? You guys tell me to do things that I'm denied the right to do because of gang stalking. Now with this Stephanie Larkin lady, she should have left a long time ago. She didn't have time. She didn't have time. Well, now she has plenty of time. Now she has plenty of time. She will apportion plenty of time when she feels insulted. She will apportion all sorts of time when she feels insulted. You know, we don't even need to scroll through that. We've already done that, haven't we? Now look at all this time that she spent. All of this time and energy that she couldn't spend to help another person. All of this time that after sending me a friend request, and just wants to make it about her. Oh, fine, we've made it about her. We have officially made it about Stephanie Larkin. We have officially made it about Michelle Stewart. Don't get me wrong, I do like Michelle Stewart. I don't like Stephanie Larkin. Not even a little bit. She is still a human being. If she needs help because she is being abused, I will help her turn it in if she asks. But I'm not going to go out of my way to lift a finger to help her at the moment. At the moment, all she's doing is being angry that she got busted doing something screwed up. You got your own mental illnesses. You like that? Mentally ill, mentally ill, mentally ill. Stephanie Larkin is mentally ill. Do you like that? I personally think it's rude. I think that if Stephanie Larkin has diagnoses, those are her diagnoses, and none of them are mentally ill. The reason for that is because mental illness is not a diagnosis. Mentally ill has never been a diagnosis. It needs to be dropped out of usage. I remember in the 1980s on the playground being called a retard about every day. And every kid just wanted to run around calling all the other kids retards. Does that mean that every kid that I went to school with, myself included, that we were all retards just because somebody said it? Think. Use your brain. When you've got such severe mental issues that you consult tarot cards and then talk about God, and then you want to harass somebody over and over and over again because they asked you to go away, you are the problem. When I asked Tim Beeson to leave me alone, he didn't care. When I asked multiple people in Boulder, Colorado, who were threatening me, harassing me, and stalking me over Natalie Bollinger, they did not care. They walked right over me. They did not care. What I had to say did not matter. And I do have a very specific video that I do need to make this morning. But I wanted to make sure, since Stephanie Larkin wants to make it about her, we'll make it about her. You get your attention, Stephanie. Did you expect positive attention? I would rather give you positive attention. And then again, I can't bring myself to give you positive attention right now. The thing is, when I sought positive attention and sought help, people just wanted to ignore me. Then when I call them out, they turn into antagonists. There's a lot of dead bodies over the death of Natalie Bollinger. She's not the only one who ended up dead. Now, for me, I'm a pretty happy-go-lucky guy, or at least I used to be. And I try being that person still. That doesn't mean that it works. You know, when you have to fake it because nobody cares. A lot of people say fake it till you make it. Fake it till you make it. You know what? If you're on a cruise ship right? You're aboard the Lusitania, and some German crackpot decides to launch a torpedo into the side of your boat. You're all gonna die. The boat's gonna sink. Might be a fire on top, might be some heavy fuel oil that you literally are not gonna be able to swim. You're gonna die. Pretty simple. But not all situations are a situation where you're going to die because of someone else's stupidity. Oftentimes, it's due to your own. We've got multiple situations, especially during the age of sail, where people's ships got small holes in them. And because the people who are on the boat didn't want to work together, the boat went down. When the boat went down, well, they went down with the boat. That doesn't mean all of them sunk like a rock. What it means is the boat ended up underwater and they ended up in the water. Sinking ship, right? If you work together, you all get something out of it. When each person is busy trying to fight for the lifeboat, while telling the other people, oh, well, I'm fighting for the lifeboat to make room for you. Then the lifeboat shows up, you hop in real quick, kick him in the head, right? This is a very popular thing to do here in the United States. Every man out for himself and all that. Now, the Constitution starts off with the words, we the people. We the people. Not they the rich, not they the whites, not they the blacks, not they the men, not they the women. We the people. When we decide guilt and innocence based on gender, we are creating a severe issue in the United States. How many of you women out here pulling this shit on me, how many of you try making the connection of, well, your son having to endure such a thing? How many of you are able to make the connection your son has a penis while you're blaming men and it's all men's fault? Are you making that connection when it comes to your son, that he is a man? That most women in the United States are taught to blame your son because he has a penis? How many women in the United States, just in the last year, have been on the news because they killed children for being male? You're severely fucked up in the head, so you take it out on your own children. You literally murder your own children for being male. And of course, we've got women who push this. Who push this every day. Now, sure, they'll take a look at that situation and they'll go, you know, you shouldn't kill children. But they're males, so they'll probably be rapists anyway. Yeah, sure. Fuck, that hurt. Oh my God. Ah! Stephanie Larkin, it's your fault I burnt my nose hair. No, it's not. It's not your fault I burnt my nose hair. I'll blame you for your shit. Yours. It's not your fault that I burnt my nose hair. Now, when it comes to abuse against an at-risk adult, that is always your fault. That is 100% of the fault of friends and family. When an at-risk adult is abused repeatedly, it is 100% the fault of friends and family. Because if friends and family don't care, that victim will be victimized over and over again. When I lived in Colorado, there was a disabled feller who came down, and he was nice to everybody. But Emery and Arturo decided that it was all right to steal from him, them and a guy who called himself Cash. This is one of Natalie Bollinger's ex-boyfriends. So they decided they were going to steal this at-risk adult's things. And he tried going to the cops. He tried going to his parents. His parents wanted somebody to do something. It wasn't until I heard about it that somebody actually did anything. I went to those rotten son of a bitches and I told him, hey, dude, the guy's barely functional, okay? He is low functioning. He is also really fucking nice. He took you assholes to his fucking house. Let you have a floor to stay on. And what the fuck did you do to him? You fucking stole his goddamn computer. There's a lot of people who tell me, oh, Sean, you shouldn't tell stories like that because it makes all of us homeless people look bad. No, the fuck it doesn't. Emery and Arturo are fucking useless goddamn pieces of shit. Not every homeless person is Emery and Arturo. Not every homeless 25-year-old is going to be trying to get into a little 13-year-old girl's panties. No, that's very specifically Emery and fucking Arturo. When you do something wrong, you do something wrong. When you make a bad assumption and you want to run with it, that's not the fucking victim's fault. When you pretend to care about somebody because you saw something on a web sleuth show and then you literally ignore them for years, you need to leave. You are taking advantage of me. Now that guy in Boulder, Colorado who got his computer taken, yes, he was far better off than me. His parents actually fucking cared. The police didn't. They told him he shouldn't have been hanging out with the homeless. But you get to look, who helped that man get his computer back? You goddamn right it was me. I had to trade a better computer to get this man his computer back. Hey, that's the most fucked up thing you could have done to the dude. Josh Hughes fixes computers all the fucking time, all right? If I give him one of these piece of shit computers, he'll fix another one of these piece of shit computers, and I'll give you that fucking computer. Just give the dude his goddamn computer back. And they did. When an at-risk adult is being taken advantage of, they're not allowed to defend themselves. They need a friend or family member. With this guy, it's not that his parents couldn't have gone in with him or made the call with him to try to turn it in. I was there with him while he was on the phone. He was on fucking, well, I was going to say Pearl Street, but it was actually at the Boulder Public Library. And he was on the phone. He was right next to me having this phone call. His parents are telling him that he shouldn't let anybody stay there, and, you know, they're right. But that doesn't get his computer back. Now, I told him that I could get his computer back without going to the cops, because he'd already tried. You know, by the time he called his parents, he wanted to take care of it himself first. And when that didn't work, yes, he called his parents. Called his mom in specific. They actually told him maybe it's time for him to move home if he's not able to handle that. Maybe they should move back in with him. Well, he got his computer back. That's the help that he needed. That's the help that he needed from his parents. That's the help that he needed from the cops. That's the help that he got from me. Yes, homeless people stole his things. But it was also homeless people that busted their ass to get him his things back. Like there in Washington State, when I let that lady use my phone and she fucking stole it. It was other homeless people who helped me to try to get that back. When that guy there wanted to use my computer so he could use the email and contact his family, what did he do? He stole my fucking computer. And who helped me to get it back? A meth addict. The cops wouldn't do shit. The folks at Starbucks wouldn't do shit. But a fucking meth head, goddamn right he helped me out. He'd been abused growing up. He understood it. He understood how important the evidence on there was. He helped me track it down and get it back, and it's recorded on my channel. I don't hate Stephanie Larkin, not even close. I don't hate Michelle Stewart, not even close. What I hate is how I am treated over their assumptions. No, their assumptions aren't forcing people to harm me. Their assumptions are preventing the words that are coming out of my mouth from registering in their heads. I'm speaking the English language. It's English. You're typing to me in English. You obviously understand the English language. But as Americans, you believe that reinterpreting everything makes it okay. See, that very much is an American thing. You try talking to somebody from Great Britain, shit, they're a lot easier to talk to. When I'm talking to somebody from Australia, they're a lot easier to talk to as well. Why is that? Because they're speaking English as English, not as interpretive dance, which is what you seem to think as Americans that the English language is. It's some sort of interpretive dance. If you reinterpret everything that somebody else says, then it makes you right. Holy shit. Or if you talk about yourself nonstop, you want to call that help? You want to call that helping another person? It's not. When you are taught to blame men and all you want to do is blame men, you're a sexist. When you have obvious mental issues, severe mental issues, like schizophrenia, a lot of the things that you are talking about to me, when you're telling me about the Illuminati, and you're telling me about your tarot cards, no, that doesn't make any fucking sense to me. Natalie didn't go lying about me because the Illuminati made her fucking do it. Got nothing to do with the Illuminati. It's got nothing to do with fucking tinfoil hats and alien fucking conspiracies. It's got nothing to do with magical goddamn unicorns. It came down to she was fucking embarrassed. Embarrassed. When a lot of you women get a hold of me to tell me you understand, it's followed immediately by Illuminati bullshit. Holy fuck. Holy fuck. Do you not understand how fucking scary that is? Not the Illuminati bullshit, but the fact that that's what you go to. That is the schizophrenic nut job bullshit that you immediately go to.
The Illuminati did not fucking do this. People's selfish motivations did this. People's assumptions and the actions that they committed to as a result of those assumptions are what did this. People didn't assault me for being some super psycho serial killer rapist. It should be pretty fucking obvious by now I'm not some sort of super psycho serial killer fucking rapist. I'm a victim who is fucking pissed off. Your assumptions are dumb. Don't fucking assume. Don't talk over the victim. Don't make it about you. But the majority of these alcoholic, drugged out of their fucking gourd women who have reached out to me to talk at length about themselves, telling me how to think and how to feel, how is that helping anyone? Then you want to type about how you all did it yourself. You did it all by yourself. You lying piece of shit. Literally, every single one of you who says that you did it yourself is a fucking liar. Every one of you. Without exception. I wouldn't have been able to do any of the things I was able to do without people's assistance. Now look at the weapons that people armed me with. Why do I have a YouTube channel? Well, you can thank Lana and Amanda Engeline and Jerry Sparks of Glatton Gateway, Montana for that. This is what they armed me with. This is the only useful thing that I got out of that trip to Montana. Everything else was pretty much nonstop verbal goddamn abuse from Lana Engeline. Her daughter was very helpful and very useful, but without the follow-through and with my evidence being stolen by Lana and Amanda through false fucking pretenses, they fucked me severely. They didn't care who was harmed as long as they could try to hide their fucking embarrassment. But also it's obvious by their actions and by their words that they had a plan before I ever got there. They already had their own ideas about what help I needed and weren't going to fucking listen to a goddamn thing I had to say. Now, during this time, I've got to deal with this Layla Johnson fucking nut job. I was actually at Lana and Amanda Engeline's when I found out that Layla Johnson was a fake fucking profile. I was notified by her supposed sister, Erin Cockerham. Now, all these people that knew that Layla Johnson was doing all this fucked up shit, that she was a goddamn nut job, they could have spoken up about it. Dan Faber could have tried. Made zero fucking effort. Now that's the problem with the literally hundreds of people who wanted to send me friend requests. Most of them to be assholes. They weren't interested in the truth. To this day, they won't look at evidence even if I fucking send it to them. They have had so much time to look at evidence. Why reach out to somebody if all you're going to do is victimize them? Why the fuck would you try calling that help? You know goddamn well it's not. Talking over the victim never helps the victim. Never. What it does is pushes them to commit suicide. How about instead of trying to push somebody to suicide, you actually listen to the fucking victim? How about instead of making it about you when you say that you'll help somebody, you actually keep your goddamn word and help them? When somebody is in a desperate situation and they need help and all you're going to do is blow smoke up their ass or talk about you nonstop, how is that fucking help? when you're going to shove your crap on them? How does that help? It's not. When you're obviously nuttier than fucking squirrel turds like Stephanie Larkin, I can try hard to be nice to you. I really can. If you want to tell your story, I don't mind you telling your story. But you're not going to do fucking harmful shit to me. If you're going to do harmful shit to me, I'm going to speak out. If you aren't going to help me to turn in these crimes, I'm going to speak up about that. You want to pretend that you care. No, if you actually cared, you would listen without interrupting me and you'd help me turn this shit in immediately, right away. That's what my paperwork says to do. Go to a friend or family member and turn it in right away. Do it with a friend or family member, right away. What does my paperwork say? Right away. When it comes to mandated reporters, when are they supposed to fucking report it? Right away. Did any of these mandated reporters make any attempt to turn this shit in? Not a single one of them ever made an attempt. Not one mandated reporter. Not Jerry Sparks. Not Amanda DeMette. Nobody. Amanda DeMette is a mandated reporter. Anyone in the state of Nebraska is a mandated reporter. If a child tells you they're being abused, you legally have to turn it in. You don't have the option of looking the other way. Well, actually, you do, because nobody in Nebraska gives a fuck about the law. Even the law doesn't give a fuck about the law. And that's because none of you care. Now, many of these people who got a hold of me and pretended like they were going to help me, that what they wanted to do is have me speak out for them, or just have somebody to fucking bitch about their problems with. That doesn't fucking help the victim. Now you get to see how many of these people who pretended like they were going to help me and never fucking did. When I call them out, you notice that although they had no time before, they are making plenty of fucking time now, aren't they? Aren't they? For over a fucking year, Natalie and her friends made my life a living fucking hell. I spoke up and they didn't fucking like it. You don't have to like it. I don't tell the truth to piss you off. I tell the truth because people are being fucking killed over this shit. Because you're all cowards when it comes to standing up to the cops. Poor people especially. The more poor you are, the more desperate a situation you're in. And the more desperate the situation you're in, the more selfish you're going to be. And the more selfish that you are, the less people are going to listen to you. Now, a lot of people, they wanted to get a hold of me and offer to help me, and it turns out they never had any intention. They wanted me to speak for them because nobody else will. A lot of these are very specifically women, and very specifically women with severe mental issues, violent mental issues. Not just schizophrenia, we are talking about violent schizophrenics. Jeremy Elliott of Chapel, Nebraska, schizophrenic but not violent. Zach Boatman of Boulder, Colorado, schizophrenic but not violent. Now, have I ever seen him get violent? Yes, twice. Both times he was fucking attacked. Once by Kelly Engel, and I don't remember the other asshole's name. I don't know what the hell made Kelly think that he was gonna go punch Zach in the face and just get away with it. What did Zach do? Well, when Kelly hit him, Kelly's wallet went flying and Zach picked it up and walked off. I didn't care about none of the rest of it. You don't steal a homeless man's ID. Kelly had marijuana in there. This is before Amendment 64. It had not been passed yet. It was still illegal for Kelly to be going out there and selling marijuanas to a bunch of youngins, but nobody was going to do anything about it. Now, when he got into that fight with Zach, it wasn't a fight. It wasn't a fight. It was Kelly deciding he was going to cold cock somebody twice his size who's schizophrenic. And that schizophrenic took his wallet and walked off. Next thing you know, you got 6 homeless people surrounding Zach Boatman, letting them know, hey, we're not going to let you fucking walk off with his ID. You can keep the hundreds of dollars that are in there. We don't give a fuck about the hundreds of dollars. He cold-cocked you. He fucking cold-cocked you like a goddamn coward. Yeah, he absolutely deserves to have his shit took. When he hit you, and his stuff went flying, yeah, that becomes your property out there. That is how it is. That is your property. And Zach knew it. He knew the rules. He also knew that he has to pull out that fucking ID and give it to Kelly. He has to do that. You do not take another man's ID. So then Kelly, he's all up in his royal oats now because he's got a bunch of people who are backing him up. They're not backing him up for assaulting. There were 2 people. One of them was going to stab Zach Boatman. No, you put that fucking knife away. He threw it in the bushes. I explained that nobody is going to fucking hurt Zach. You're going to stay the fuck away from Zach. We will get Kelly's ID back. Instead, Kelly wanted to get all up in Zach Boatman's face again. All up in his royal oats. So Zach hit him. Kelly's head bounced off the road right in front of a fucking tire of traffic going by. I mean, it was... If his head hadn't bounced, that tire would have gone over his head. Now, was Zach Boatman trying to kill Kelly? No, he was trying to get Kelly the fuck away from him. He was never looking for violence. Now, what ended up happening? Zach Boatman got locked up as if he were some sort of a violent schizophrenic. No, the fuck he wasn't. Zach could have broken Kelly in half on accident. Zach was very well reserved. Even with all of those people surrounding him, he was very well reserved. He was very calm given the situation. He was not interested in violence. He was interested in Kelly leaving him the hell alone. And the more people yelled at him that he had to give that satchel back, the more Zach was like, no, he hit me. He hit me. He needed to leave me alone, and he hit me. I want to be left alone. If he leaves me alone, he can have all of it back. Kelly wasn't having it. Kelly thought, hey, I got all these homeless people up in arms. Maybe they'll jump Zach Boatman with me. Not a chance in hell while I'm there. Doing the right thing because it's the right thing to do requires you actually getting off your ass to do it. You being a coward is not a valid fucking excuse. You talking about yourself nonstop after claiming you're going to help somebody is not fucking help. That doesn't assist the victim in stopping the abuse. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm glad that Kelly didn't end up dead. But he got hit for a reason. Zach Boatman was defending himself against armed assailants. Zach is not the one who should have ended up in jail over that. And if it hadn't been for that fucking ID, he wouldn't have. If Zach had just given up the ID, all of us would have left him alone. Yes, Kelly would have bitched nonstop, probably at all of us for months, if not longer. Because he lost his fucking pot money. He shouldn't have been out there selling pot to kids. He shouldn't have been out there assaulting people. He shouldn't have been trying to convince others to assault an innocent man. Boatman did not steal Kelly's things. Kelly knew damn well what the rules on the streets were. He knew damn well it wasn't okay to go abusing disabled people. By the way, you know what the fucking fight was over? Kelly was coming down from methamphetamines and wanted to take a fucking nap. Somebody went and lit one of the kiosks on fire. Guess who it was? It wasn't Zach. It was another schizophrenic man named George. And yes, George did light the fucking kiosk on fire. Kelly didn't like all the noise because somebody lit a kiosk on fire. He wanted to blame it on Zach. He wanted everybody up in arms about Zach. We were all fucking conscious. That's not what Kelly cared about. He was coming down from fucking drugs and didn't care who he took it out on. That's his dumbass fault. When it comes to being a predator, you know, when you're schizophrenic and you want to offer to help somebody, you should think twice. You're schizophrenic. You are schizophrenic and you know that you're schizophrenic. Now, knowing that you're schizophrenic, maybe you should leave it to somebody else. Maybe you shouldn't get onto these YouTube things, believe whatever the fuck you heard, and fucking go at somebody the way that you do. Anyway, it's good to be rid of you. Thanks for coming to visit. Stay out of trouble or don't get caught. Remember, you are your brother's keeper, and no victim left behind. Somebody being a male is not a valid excuse to harm them. Someone being white is not a valid excuse to harm them, and someone being broke is not a valid excuse to harm them. Someone having mental problems is also not a valid reason to harm them. So you guys get to see the media wants to push this mentally ill thing. Every time somebody does something messed up, it's because they're mentally ill, not because they were abused to the point that that's the only option they had left. People do desperate things when they're in desperate situations. It's a fact. The more desperate a situation they're in, the more likely they are to commit to desperate acts, such as stealing. Now, who's the bigger thief? The man with 1,000 loaves of bread, or the man who steals one to feed his family? Here in the United States, I believe that it's gotten to the point where stealing things back is the only way to get anything. The government's never going to stop stealing from you unless you stand up for yourselves, and you won't. Because standing up for yourself requires standing up for others. That's what we the people means. We the people. When I say all American soldiers are cowards, I mean it.
When I say that I have very little respect for veterans, I mean that too. There's a lot of veterans that I do respect. There are a lot of veterans out on the streets. Yes, I respect them. They're going through the same thing I am. They're also fighting, which is nice, isn't it? That we do have veterans out on the streets fighting for the rights of homeless people, but for the most part, they're not fighting for homeless people. They're only fighting for homeless veterans. Only the homeless veterans matter. No, they don't. Absolutely not. No soldier matters as long as our Constitution doesn't matter. No soldier can say he's fighting for my rights while he's turning away from the Constitution and helping the people who are creating this situation. When it comes to currently serving soldiers, no, I have no respect for you. I couldn't have any more respect for you than I could have for an SS soldier.